So you've probably heard that there's changes happening inside of the real estate industry right now with new rules and lawsuits. I wanted to go over a few of those things in this video and inform you about those changes that are being made. There's a lot of information out there that's not necessarily correct. So this all started a couple years ago when there was a class action lawsuit filed by a group of sellers that said that a seller being required to pay a buyer's broker inflated home prices and was bad for the consumer. And that made it all the way up to high courts, and they ruled in favor of the sellers in this class action lawsuit. There's been changes that have been made, and two of the big changes have been sellers' compensation to buyer's agents is no longer listed in the MLS, and buyers must sign a buyer-broker agreement before they enter a property. Now, my opinion about the class action lawsuit is they didn't really prove what they were setting out to prove, because commissions have always been negotiable and they will continue being negotiable. But moving forward, as realtors, we are to emphasize to the consumers that it is definitely negotiable. You do not have to pay your agent a set amount. It is not a set amount across the board. So if an agent tells you as a buyer or a seller that this is the standard or this is what is being charged by all the other agents out there, that is not correct. The reason we had these lawsuits were for that very issue. It is a free market, and as an agent, you are allowed to charge whatever you want. It could be a low amount, it could be a high amount, but we just can't tell consumers that it is a fixed amount across the board. When you're selling a property, in the past, when you signed the contract, it said a total commission. So if that commission is 5%, or 5.5%, or 6%, 3%, whatever that commission was, it had one fixed commission in there in our contracts. Now moving forward, it is going to specify what you're paying a listing broker and what you're paying a buyer's broker. You do have the option to pay either party whatever amount you want. Now, a listing agent may not agree to the amount you want to pay, but it will be spelled out in that contract. One of the changes that they made in doing this was so that the consumer knows what they're paying each party. If you paid a 6% commission in the past, your agent may have told you it was split 50-50 on both sides, and they may not have. So they want more transparency around that. Now, as a seller, you can now choose how much you want to pay each side, and that is not dictated by the listing agent. The commission to that buyer's agent will be going directly to them from you and will not be going to the listing agent. If an agent tells you that nothing has changed and to do things the way they've always been done, then they're not facing the reality of the new situation, and they're not being transparent with you as the consumer. It is your choice to pay out whatever you want to, if anything, to a buyer's agent. Now, I have my opinion on that, and I would love to share it with you if you want to talk about it, but that is the new rule. It will be specified what you're paying a listing agent or listing broker and what you're paying a buyer's broker. So that's one of the changes. Compensation is no longer showing up in the MLS. The big change, the biggest change in my opinion, is the fact that as a buyer, if you are working with a realtor, now that's not a real estate agent, that is a realtor, which is a member of the National Association of Realtors. You must sign a buyer-broker agreement before you go in the front door. If you do not sign that, your agent is in violation of the rules. Now, I want to be clear that it's not illegal for you to go into a property without signing one of these. Now, it is against the rules for the agent. And what that means is when this settlement happened, underneath the settlement, if you're a realtor, if you're part of the National Association of Realtors, and you follow these rules, you are protected by the blanket settlement that they had in these class action lawsuits. So, if you're a buyer and you want to look at a house, and I do not get you to sign this buyer-broker agreement, it's not illegal, because Kentucky Real Estate Commission is not telling me I have to do this, but it means that I'm not covered by this class action lawsuit, and I am breaking a rule set by the National Association of Realtors. Just want to be clear about that. You will be asked to do this more times than not, but there could be circumstances where you're not, and just know that they are breaking a rule, but it's not illegal. You're not going to go to jail if you don't sign this form. It is very important for you as a buyer to make sure you know what you are signing. There's been instances in the past that you might sign something with an agent and you don't read it, they don't explain it to you. It's just a, hey, I'm gonna send this out for e-sign, sign it, send it back to me. So in our office, I take pride in explaining things to my clients and making sure that they know what they're signing before they they do that. Not everybody is like that. Not every brokerage is like that. So you want to make sure that you know what you're signing, because you could be signing something locking you into that agent for an extended period of time. Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 3 months, but you just want to know what you are signing. I think as a consumer, what you're going to see a lot is a 1-day showing agreement. So you go into the property, you've agreed to work with this agent for 1 day. You'll see that quite a bit. I think what would be good as a consumer is to go ahead and find a real estate agent or a real estate brokerage that you want to partner with on your whole home search. So this could be for an extended period of time. This could be a contract that you sign for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, whenever you find the property, but you don't want to be signing a different piece of paper with a different agent for every house that you look at, because at the end of the day, they might represent you on that property, but overall, they may not be in it with you for the long haul. So my advice is find a good agent that wants to sit down and talk to you. They want to talk to you about the financing. They want to help you get pre-approved. They want to know the needs for the home that you're looking to buy for you and your family, and they want to go through the whole process from you start to finish. A good real estate agent does more than just open the door, and we have a lot of good real estate agents in our office, and we have a lot of good real estate agents in our area, but you want to make sure that you're partnering up with the right agent and the right company that's going to listen to you and help you achieve your goals of home ownership. When you sign a buyer's broker agreement, it is going to spell out the commission that your real estate agent will be receiving. Now that can come from the seller, that might come from you, it could be a combination of both, but you want to make sure your agent is explaining this to you and that you understand how they're being paid. If you only want their compensation coming from the seller, that's something you need to talk about up front. That way they know on properties that are not offering compensation to bring you as a buyer, then you can go ahead and have that conversation. If you're okay with it being a mix of both, the seller may contribute some, you may contribute some, but it's important to have these conversations up front so you know the expectations of your agent and they know the expectations of you. So, in a nutshell, those are the 2 big rule changes that are going on in the real estate industry right now. If you have any questions, if you'd like to talk about this or discuss this, you can always give me a call. You can talk to one of our agents. We would be glad to partner with you through these changes and help you achieve your real estate goals.